it's Safi and Marco dishing out on the movies, but today is going to be my review and of the first season of The X-Files. Do you remember that? Scully and Mulder, the truth is out there.
Scully
and Mulder, the truth is out there. Trust no one.
Shallow throat.
Deep throat. Okay, cigarette smoking man.
Well, he's hardly even in this season. Like, he's hardly a part of it.
Oh, he will be. And I think I'm going to have to get a drink. I just had a French fry. Anyway.
That was weird.
There were 24 episodes, and I would say what I did was I watched every single one. I gave very few A's. I gave one A minus, one A, and I gave two A minuses and one and two A's. The rest were C minus, C, a couple of B pluses, a B, few B's, a couple of F's, a few D's.
Ooh. Safi's very mean to this show. It's funny because she got really mad that I criticized the show. Like, oh, I'm not allowed to criticize it even though I'm watching or reviewing a show. And she got really upset, and then now it seems like she's finally facing the music and watching the show for what it is.
Well, the thing is, I watched this when it came out, and it was something. Now, one thing is, I have to say, I don't enjoy, for reviewing purposes anyway, binge watching. And it seems like you get kind of a different view of it when you do that. It's just like when we reviewed all those Halloween movies, sorry. But this is different though, this is a show. So anyway, it was something we really looked forward to watching back when it came out. Once a week, everybody talked about it. I bought a little cassette tape with the musical theme on it.
Oh, I bet you did.
And, the two characters, Scully, who is like a medical doctor and an FBI agent. And then there's Mulder, and he's a very, he has a PhD in real life. It kind of translates over into this part because he does tons of research, and I think he was an English major, so he got a PhD in English.
What about the season, Safi?
So anyway, the characters are, one, Scully is very hard detail, only look at the facts, and it has to be a scientific based conclusion.
Most of the time the facts are what she's looking at, and she
avoids looking at them, or she just can't. Well, she said one episode, and I don't remember which one, that she was afraid.
That was the Brad Dourif one.
That would be
Beyonce.
Yeah, okay, I'll put Chucky beside it. Brad Dourif, who plays Chucky, he actually played a convict who was about ready to be put to death. And he had the ability to see what was happening to people who've been kidnapped, like where they might be.
Yeah, people know that, Safi.
They do?
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted a kind of reprieve from that in exchange for information about this case they were working on. And it was like he was there with the murderer, and he could feel their rage, he could smell, maybe even just like see, like certain decor on the walls, or he could feel like the temperature of the room. I mean, he could. It was just like he was there in the room with the killer, and so he got with all of that expertise. He might be able to keep himself from having to be put to death, and he could just at least stay alive.
But Safi, what'd you think about the season?
Well, that particular episode, I just wanted to say that was actually in my top 10.
Ah.
And a reason, and
What?
I'm very sad that Brad Dourif, who's a very good actor, and he did a really good job in this, that they killed him off in that episode and never came back. And I thought they missed an opportunity to use somebody who was really good at playing weird roles. And, you know, he's in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's in these Chucky movies. Granted, he's playing a voice, but he still has to act. And he did play in the first movie. When he turns into Chucky, he was playing himself, you know, a person. Just for a little bit, though. But anyway, as far as the season is concerned, I guess I just gave it mixed reviews. Some of it was, especially like the first episode, you know, that's really like an introduction episode. And I don't know if it really... you know, for the show Grimm that I used to watch that I really loved, the first episode was really, really good, and it was like a knockdown, kind of subtle knockdown, knock you over episode with how good it was. This one, it was really boring. It was introduction of the two characters, introduction of the X-Files, what that meant. And it was just boring, and that's like, that's like in the middle of my list. There's 24 episodes, so it's in the middle of 24.
Let's zoom out, Safi. What'd you think about the season?
I mean, just told you, and some of it was boring.
Review.
Some of it was unbelievable. It was just they didn't like, maybe they had a really good idea going, but they didn't continue it. And they, like, for example, there was one called Gender Bender, and it's about these people who have the ability to change their gender and to change back.
They can do a lot of things.
And they can do a lot more than that, but it's called Gender Bender. That's one of the references to that. And it could have, that episode could have done so much more about, like, another, maybe even 2 more episodes, at least 1 more at the minimum, and they just cut it off, and they left it off where they actually teleported back to where they belonged, and like, how do you do that? How did they do that? That was never mentioned, and it's just, that, and then at the end of the finale, he had been, I'm not going to tell everything that happened, but he had been abducted, and at the end, there were a lot of little things that happened throughout the episode, but at the end he says that because their contact had been killed, he said that they closed our department. We're no longer working. They're going to assign us to different places. And then that was how they ended it. It was like really depressing and awful. And I guess the episodes that I kind of had problems with, except for one, I put it my top 10.
Well, we know
were the ones with kids. I don't know. They just didn't work out.
They're just too corny and too, like, unbelievable.
One was a girl was born at the time I don't even know what you want to call it, detective was killed, and so his spirit enters her, and so she gets in these, and then all of a sudden these people get killed, and who were in on killing him, and she is involved in that, and she has a very morose demeanor where she's just frowning, and she's not loud at all. She's just extremely quiet. And
Ooh, that one tastes weird.
and then there was
Oh.
let's see what else. Oh, there was another boy who it was called the Conduit, and that was almost near the end of my bad side of it.
That one was funny because the only thing that's memorable about it is that at one point, David Duchovny, out of nowhere, is like, I think he's a conduit! It's really just hilarious. Like, it's the episode's so confusing and they don't like it just, it's stupid and it's boring and forgettable, but the one thing that sticks out is, he's a conduit! I think he's a conduit! And Scully's just like,
like talking about.
Yeah.
And then there was another one. This was in my top 10. Marco didn't care for it much, but they had these girls who were twins, and they played in this episode where this woman, doctor, was doing cloning research, and she was working in a place where people got eggs and they're going to have babies, and she was fiddling around with their I don't know what you want to call it, their eggs and stuff. So
Ew,
a
Safi.
bunch of these
That's
little girls
gross.
who looked like her
Hey,
were born, and so these two
where'd
twins
it go?
were in it, and
Hey.
I thought they were pretty good, but it was an
shucks.
okay episode. I just put it in my top 10. It was interesting because you had all of these little girls. They had a picture. Of course, it was doctored. There were about like 10 of them. They all looked exactly alike, and she she hid away because the professor, the teacher, doctor who was doing this research, she hid because she would have gotten in trouble.
I didn't think it was that bad. I just didn't have it. I just thought it could have been a lot better.
And then there were some kind of scary ones where probably, well, in my top 10 is this one's called Ice, and they have to go to this, like Scully and Boulder, they have to go to this Arctic field station where all these people have died, and they bring 3 scientists with them, and it gets to be where nobody trusts anybody, and they figure out if you're infected with this, whatever it is.
Parasite.
Yeah, and they actually,
Not the shitty movie that won Oscar for Best Picture that shouldn't have, but a real parasite.
Yeah, a real bug, and the way that what is it? I can't even remember. There was some way if you, is it you have a rash or blood or a cut or something you can see on the body.
I think it's like bumps under your armpits or something.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to have another parasite put inside you so that the 2 parasites will kill each other.
Right. So
And,
that was scary and
good.
complicated because nobody trusted each other. Even Scully and Mulder didn't trust each other. In fact, it got to be in the end that they were all going after Mulder because they were sure they got it, but the problem was the one who really had it was encouraging it so that tension would be away from her.
the funny thing is that that episode, people say that it's like a parody of The Thing remake.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I haven't seen that, so I wouldn't know about that.
I don't know
so
about that either.
I think it's the best episode in my opinion.
Then there was an interesting one where this guy could mold his body into like something so thin and skinny that he could go through vents and small places and then he would kill somebody for their liver, and he had to have a certain amount every 30 years. I think it was like 4 livers. And so, and then he would hibernate in this one place.
And he rubbed the bile all over himself too.
Oh, and it was just, that was kind of gross, but it was scary and weird and different. And that's in my top 10.
That's in everyone's top 10, Safi. I mean, that's like one of the most iconic episodes.
And then another one, it was called, was that the one? It wasn't Space. That wasn't Space either.
Oh, that one was not
I
bad.
didn't care for it at all. In fact, that's almost at the end of my.
Oh, you're following the cliches, Safi. That's
I don't
what.
like it. I
That's
just did not like it at all.
That's what everyone else says.
I don't like the. They did a Native American one now.
No, that one was disappointing.
Grimm did a couple of Native American episodes. They were really, really good. Of course, this show took place way before Grimm, but they did not do a good job, and I thought it was confusing. I didn't know what was going on. Who was, it was about these certain Native Americans, like a specific family, who could change themselves, or maybe they didn't really want to, but it just happened. They would change themselves into some kind of like a werewolf kind of huge creature that attacked people and killed them. And but it did not work. It was not very good, and it was sad because it was one of the main actors in it was the sheriff from Twin Peaks.
Deputy.
I really like him, and he was in
Deputy.
Deputy.
They never made him the sheriff, which was something that we both complained about.
Yeah, they should have.
Deputy Hawk.
So, of course, the biggest thing they concentrate on in the X-Files is aliens. And so every once in a while they throw in an episode about aliens. Either first they had test pilots who went crazy after, I don't know, testing an alien spacecraft.
Safi, they got their minds wiped, remember?
Yeah, I know that.
Because Mulder had the same thing happen in the episode.
Right. That's where Deep Throat, their connection to these underground government activities, was revealed. He wanted, I don't know what he wanted them to do. He wanted them stopped. He wanted them to tell others. I'm really not even sure what he wanted them to do once they had the information.
I know, that's another thing. Yeah.
He wanted them to get the information, but once they had it, I don't know what they're supposed to do with it. What I thought was hilarious, and I hope Marco doesn't put.
Oh no, you can't mention that.
Okay, well.
Can't mention that.
It's just I won't say anything specific.
No,
I'll just say it in general.
You'll just not say anything at all.
Okay, well, then I'll just say this. They mentioned a conspiracy theory,
you won't say anything.
which I've heard
you won't say anything.
lately about something. I won't say anything specific.
Safi,
and I was shocked
don't do
because
that.
I thought, oh my God.
Don't go there.
They must have been watching the X-Files.
Safi, don't go there.
I just thought it was hilarious.
Don't go there.
I was a little shocked too. It was near the end of the season too.
Don't go there.
I'll be quiet. So for the one I mentioned, it was called Squeeze, where the guy could shrink himself up into something small, can get into small places, and then he ate people's livers.
But Safi, the whole show, here's something. The whole show is literally just a UFO episode, and then a bunch of random episodes, and then a UFO episode. How do you feel about that? Do you think that that's a good way of storytelling? Do you think it's like well structured the way that...
Well, unless they wanted to make the whole series on finding aliens, which I think it was good that there are other anomalies in life, like let's say the Native American one, even though they didn't do it well, there's a lot of anomalies about people, ghosts.
Well, they weren't. It seems like they didn't put much effort into them compared to the UFO ones, and so
yeah, that's true.
that's the problem.
But it was so funny because the things about, I don't remember, I only remember like, I've watched this whole season now, and I only remember a few episodes.
Well, you'll forget about a lot of them. I mean, they're so.
I don't
Some of them are
remember
so
any of them except
mediocre.
For a few. I mean, nothing. I don't even remember hearing the names or anything.
I remember the pilot and both Squeeze episodes and Deep Throat
Well, I remember
and Jersey Devil.
The Arctic episode, and there was another one where these loggers had gone over, they went across the line, and they started taking down old growth hardwood trees, or just old growth trees, which they were not allowed to do, and they were marked as to how old they were. And inside the tree was this, I don't even know what, it was these bugs, and they killed people. They were like little tiny bugs, but they got into you to make like a web all over you, and Scully and Mulder almost died, but I remember that one, and really well. And I remember the one with the guy who squeezed himself into small places.
So, Safi.
That's about, I really don't remember any of and the Eve one, of course, was the twins.
No, you remember that one because we had it on VHS.
Well, I know that, but I remember it too.
There were several episodes we had on VHS, like just randomly. Fallen Angel was one of them because I remember the stupid cover with the guy levitating in thin air, and then also the Eve one. Those two, I think we own them on VHS, and both of them are kind of overrated in my opinion. But Safi, how would you rank the episodes this season?
All right. Well, at the very end was an episode called Ebe, E-B-E, and it was I don't even remember it.
It's the one where they kept on getting disinformation.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that Deep Throat was trying to throw Mulder off the track because he didn't want him to see this alien that they got. And then remember at the end they're at the facility and he runs into the room without their permission, and Deep Throat actually saves his life and saves hers. And then the room is empty because the alien died.
Yeah, okay, well, I didn't like it at all. So that's my last one.
That's a hot opinion.
And 23 is Space.
Oh.
And that's about a
Soft.
rogue alien who invades space, American space.
You just didn't like it because you didn't like how David Duchovny had the hots for the woman.
That wasn't Eve. That was something else.
It's Space. The one where David Duchovny had a crush on that woman, you said. You know, the woman in space.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking it was just boring. I didn't like it. And then we had Shapes. That came in at 22.
What was that one?
Um,
Are you sure you're not mixing it up with Shadows?
No, I'm not. Shadows, for me, is 17. No, it's Shapes. And isn't that the Native American one?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then Ghost in the Machine, and that's about
The computer.
The computer where something has taken over the computer that the guy put in there. It goes rogue, and they had a series on CBS a few years ago, which was did this really well. And of course, now that's way past when the X-Files came out. And I don't remember the name of the show, because was. It was before COVID, but it was like even a few years before that.
Was it 902.10? Is that what it was called?
I don't think so. I don't. I'd have to look it up.
The 902.10?
I don't think so.
.910
I don't
something?
know, Marco. I have to look it up. I'll look it up and say what it is later. But you can remember what I'm talking about. It was this computer and this guy with glasses who's married to this girl who was in the,
Oh, shit.
I can't even remember, the one with the, never mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
he was in charge of it and protected it, and it would have a mind of its own. It could. And then my number, let's see, it was 20, I messed this up, so, let's see, 23, 22.
See, our rankings differ significantly.
And then my next one is Roland. That's 21, and it was awful.
It was just confusing and
Yeah, it was confusing and like
boring, forgettable.
It was like he could take over all these different scientists' jobs. Like he worked out all these different things, and I'm like, that's impossible because all these scientists working on these separate projects. It seemed like it was all feeding to one, but they were totally separate fields of science, and they were really like. It's like a violinist playing 16th notes really fast. It's this really complicated research. And this guy was like autistic, but he was also like retarded, like he had a stroke or something.
Safi, don't speak about yourself in the third person.
Okay. And then they show him as a little boy, and the ghost, because he was killed, the ghost of his brother, who was a twin, and they were separated, he was invading him, and he was figuring out these other scientists' works. I thought that was weird, and but the thing is, when they show pictures of them as boys, they don't show him like that at all, and he's like curled, bent over, and hunched up, and his arm was twisted, and he's not like that at all as a kid, so I was confused about that. So that's why I put that. And the next one down, keep going down, would be, let's see, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. That was 20. The next one is 19, and that's Erlenmeyer Flask.
Ooh, that's another
And
controversial opinion. Since a lot of people say that's the best episode.
I didn't care for it. And I just...
why not?
Apparently it was a flask that had alien DNA in it or whatever, and this guy, regular human, got some of it somehow with his experimentation by the scientist who was killed, and it causes you to have different DNA.
Just move along, Safi.
Well, I know. I
didn't think this would be an hour-long
Okay,
review.
well, I don't want to say. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. The next one is 18, I think, and it's Conduit. 17 is Born Again.
Oh.
16 is
Oh.
Shadows, and 15
Oh.
is Young at Heart.
Oh.
14, I Have Fallen Angels.
Oh.
13 is Deep Throat.
Oh.
12 is The Pilot, which I thought
Oh.
was boring. 11 was The Jersey Devils, which
Oh.
apparently that might be a real thing that people talk
Oh.
about. And I think there's like a hockey team called the Jersey Devils. And then 10, these are my 10 favorites. 10 was Gender Benders.
Oh.
Except it needed another episode because there was too many things they could have done with it. They just didn't do it. 9 was Eve,
Oh.
the twins. 8 was Darkness Falls. That's
Oh.
when the forest, the logs, the hard growth trees that weren't supposed to be cut. 7 is Miracle Man.
Oh.
6 is Fire.
Oh.
Weird. 5 is Beyond the Sea. That's where Brad
Oh.
plays this convict who's about to be murdered. 4 is Tombs.
Oh.
3 is Squeeze. Now that's Squeeze is the episode with this guy who shrinks himself, and Tombs is actually a follow-up episode later on in the season called Tombs, because that was his name.
Oh, Safi.
Then 2 is Lazarus.
Oh.
And 1 is Ice.
Oh, okay.
And that was my top. That's how I ranked them, and I might change them a little bit, but I don't think so.
There's just some really weird choices in there, like
they just
ranking Born Again above episodes like the Earl and Meyer Flask.
Well, some of them just hit me the wrong way, and I was disappointed that I didn't remember them better, but I really didn't. And the music is very distinct. I remember that. I like that. Mm-hmm. And because you can, it was just like music from Jaws or Psycho.
I don't like the music. I think the music is overly depressing. Music.
Oh, I don't. But anyway, it's just funny because they have all these conspiracy theories.
Don't do that.
All throughout the whole. You can
don't
even
go
have
there.
a team of people. What do they call that group of? I think it's all men, and they're all weird. They're all very specific looking.
They're all cool.
They're cool.
They're all
cool too.
smarter than the main characters. That's for damn sure.
Anyway, they work all the conspiracy.
The Lone Gunmen.
The Lone Gunmen. That's the name of the group. I thought that was interesting.
They're better than the main characters because
they're very educated and they love to do research. They love to figure out what's going on.
They don't get taken hostage all the time like Scully. They don't get into shitty fights where they get thrown around like a rag doll, like Mulder. You know, they're so much cooler than the main characters, honestly.
So that's my review of season 1 of the X-Files, and I think there are 14 seasons.
What? No, there's 12. There's 10 or there's 11 or 12.
I don't know.
Plus 2 movies.
And then of course they had those recent, in the last 5 years.
They had a revival.
And they just aren't bad. I watched them. I just didn't care for them.
Yeah.
It was a shame.
I heard that.
I just don't think they were into doing it. They weren't in the mood. They had been doing other projects that were more interesting to them. When they first started out as actors.
Well, that's kind of irritating.
It was new, and you know they were like excited.
They did that Twin Peaks, and they all were really good in it.
Well, those were different people.
They're more talented people. Oops! Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I don't know about that. It's just they were just a little bit. It just didn't work.
They said something that really pissed me off in an article where I don't know who agreed, but there was agreed on it. But I think it was the actress who played Scully. She had like a discussion with the writers, and they agreed that they would never make Mulder and Scully a couple. And I thought, what a bunch of bullshit. Like, what kind of cheap-ass shit is that? Like, we've been waiting 12, 13, 14 seasons, and these two characters still haven't hooked up yet? Like, wow. What a sham. What a complete waste of time that was. What a pathetic excuse for a show.
Okay, well,
Safi.
That's all I have to say about it.
Overrated.
I'm sorry that I went on a little bit about the episodes. I wasn't really sure how I was supposed to handle this, but...
you handle it, Safi. That's how you handle it.
I don't like ranking things. And
I do.
I know that's a big millennial thing.
So, Safi, how would
you...
I
get it, and it's over.
How would you rank the villains of the episodes? How would you rank all the villains? Let's just rank them.
Tombs was pretty bad.
Rank them all.
Then they had this one guy who...
No, the computer was the best villain.
Then they had this guy who, he could get caught on fire. He could burn to a crisp. Yes.
Yeah, he was cool.
And he could survive, and his body would completely regenerate.
Yeah.
And what at first, when you watch the episode, you think that, oh well, he has this ability to start a fire with his body. They have something like that in
Other
Grimm.
shows
In
in general.
Grimm especially, I remember, but it's a little bit different. It was a volcanic god, but
Especially because they call the episode. Don't they? Oh wait, no, they don't. I was
they
gonna
call
say.
it fire, I believe.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they called it Fire Starter, but that's a Stephen King book.
That's a Stephen King book. With,
But
what's her
it
name?
was cool in that episode how his power is not that he can create fire, it's that he can survive fire. And so what he does is he actually uses rocket fuel to light things and light people on fire. But then so I thought that was really cool, the fact that they did like an equal thing where it's like part science, part unexplainable stuff.
Yeah. So that's it, everybody. Bye.
No, what do you mean by?
No, just kidding. Be sure to, if you like this video, to press like.
Wait, but what the?
Oh, we have some things to eat. We have
Safi.
the McRib. I didn't know we were going to do this, but we haven't even eaten our lunch yet. You remember the McRib, McDonald's McRib? Because apparently they eat a lot of ribs in these episodes.
No, they only eat it in one.
Besides destroy a lot of cars or get a lot of cars
Called-
destroyed by other people running into them or running them off the road.
It's called the Red Museum, Safi.
And we also have sunflower seeds.
I already ate all of those the whole episode.
Because apparently
Look, it's called David.
Mulder likes to eat sunflower seeds.
He even talks about it in season 2. He says, "My dad always used to eat them on the porch, and now I do too." He talks about it in season 2. And we have a McRib based on season 2's Red Museum episode. And in the freezer, we have a supposed alien slime drink. Safi, do you want to check on that?
Oh, sure.
To see if they're done? To see
I'm
if...
gonna put my McRib in the microwave.
And I'm going to have the name
I'm not eating an ice cold
So,
sandwich.
Safi, we're...
Uncle, what are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I
Could
doing?
you stop doing that?
This is the pretentious film critic impression now. So I'm going to break down
I'm
why
gonna have to turn the light on too.
the X-Files is the worst show in humanity's history.
It is not the worst show in humanity's history.
Number 1,
No, Marco.
it's a very cold show. There's not a lot of likable characters besides the main 2. Most all the characters are just evil or, they're stupid. And everything is always mysterious. Nothing gets resolved. The main 2 characters are weaklings. They have about the strength of a goldfish cracker. The villains are nothing to write home about. The music is bad, except for the theme. The music is very, very generic and cold. The whole show is just cold. And that's something I told Safi before I even started, was that the show is cold. And what I mean by it's cold is that it's lacking humanity. It's lacking a sense of wonder, of entertainment. It just has this very just feeling when you're watching it, except for a couple of them. In particular, the ice episode, even though, ironically, it's a very cold setting, the story itself is a very, it's just an entertaining science fiction story. And so I would say that that's a good example. But the thing, Safi is kind of lying about all of her opinions, because as she said, she hates ranking. she gave no legitimate reason why episodes were, higher than the others versus lower than the others. I mean, the fact that she had Tombs as number 4 blows my mind. And another thing was that Beyond the Sea episode. You guys thought that I was upset with that episode? Ooh. You should have seen Safi talking about Beyond the Sea. She was so upset. She was pissed. She said, why did they kill him off? That's the most horrible thing in the universe. She was very upset. And I just think that it's kind of like she's ignoring that part of the episode almost. Because the thing is that I would put it up there too. If Brad Dourif's character didn't die. Like, if his character didn't die, I'd probably put it in the top 5, but he died. They killed him. And, I still have stiff neck, by the way, which is why I'm not looking at the camera. So I just wanted to make sure people knew that. So here's my McRib. I hate them. Oh, God, guys, look. Oh, look at, oh, it's spilling out. Oh, it's sticking inside the container. Oh, nobody wants to eat that. This is, thanks a lot, Red Museum shit episode. I mean, that episode sucked. What a trash episode. Oh, fuck, I dropped the onion. Ugh. Look at that. They just overdid it with the barbecue sauce. Oh, no. I hate this fucking show. But anyways, since Safi's taking forever, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Oh, fuck! Ew! Oh! That is unholy! Oh, is there a... Oh, there's no napkin. Safi took out the napkin. Oh, no. What do I talk about? I never thought I'd have to do this fucking hour-long review of the X-Files Season 1. And I apologize because I thought it would be like 20 minutes maximum. But Safi just didn't know what to do for some reason. What do I talk about? What do I talk about to fill the time while Safi is heating up her McRib while I have to eat a cold McRib? Ice cold, like in the episode, ice cold McRib. I don't want to talk about the X-Files. I mean, I gotta wait. I'm waiting for Safi to finish Season 2. And as soon as she finishes Season 2, we are going to watch the show together in terms of we'll both watch one episode a day. Okay, there she is.
Okay, it did not work, and I dropped one.
Oh,
So I was
shit,
cleaning it up.
Safi.
My hand is injured, and but it did not work. It was just like water. So I will have to. We will work on it again and have that part. But give me the McRibs and I will put them in the microwave. So like and subscribe, everybody, and make a comment and tell me if you ever watched
Safi.
X-Files or what you thought about it.
You're supposed to eat it on camera.
Well, aren't you going to eat cold McRib?
Oh, shit, Safi. What the? Why did you? It's 45-minute long review now. Safi?
Why don't you have this? You have yours. Okay, I'll eat. My God. This is ridiculous.
No, we'll just end
it. It's ice cold. cold.
Well, like, what do we even get it for? Do we get it to eat it off camera? No.
Okay, here we go.
We got it to eat it on camera.
Okay, well, I'm eating it now.
Why did you drop a drink?
I just one, but... Oh, it has onion all over it. Ew.
You gotta eat the whole thing, Safi.
I can't.
You have to.
Sorry.
The channel.
Never gonna happen.
You have to.
Sorry, I can't. Ew. Oh, boy. Ice cold sandwich.
Look, wow, Safi, did you see that? It was like falling. Oh god, this looks so gross. Ew, I hate these things. Oh, look.
I thought we'd be better to just get regular ribs. Ugh.
Ugh. Ew. Ew.
There's a bug on the sauce on my shirt. We're gonna listen to Marco groan for another 20 minutes. Never gonna happen. So anyway, I have a few sunflower seeds. We need to stop the video soon.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like it.
I don't think, I wish we hadn't wasted our money. But I think we got a discount. So here I have some sunflower seeds. There they are. Okay, Marco.
I don't want to do it. It's like a yoga mat made out of some freaking meat.
I don't know why people like that.
Oh!
Do any of you like the McRib sandwich?
Oh!
You should probably be eating it hot. Whereas we're eating it cold. Okay, that's enough now. Let's say goodbye, Marco. As we listen to Marco pretend like he's listening.
Take
Yeah.
her.
He
Take.
also, didn't you also have a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh!
So, bye everybody.
Shut up, Safi. This McRib should have been an X-File. It should have had an X-File called Mulder versus the McRib.
I don't know if they have McRibs back then or not.
Well, they probably didn't, or else they'd have diarrhea from them. Because look at that. I mean, what is that? What is that? What's in there? What's that supposed to be?
It does. I think it does taste like pork.
Yeah. What kind of pork?
I don't know.
Pork babies, pork brains, pork testicles. That's what it tastes like, Safi. Eating a lot of sunflower seeds. Hey, you get okay. I can't. I just can't. That is the grossest thing ever. Just bye bye. Oh, look. Oh, Safi, look. Ew. Ew. Oh. Oh.
The sunflower seeds are good.
Oh. What about the drink? Is that good,
I
Safi?
didn't taste it. It's just water, basically.
Okay, so